What's up guys, Michelle here, and I'm just making this video as a kind of advice video for the writers out there that may be struggling to write or looking for a bit of, inspiration for the writing. And the first bit of advice that I'm going to say is write daily. Even if you don't feel like it, get into the habit of writing daily. Because, you might have seen on some of my posts that I've really been productive recently, writing a lot more than what I used to write. And the difference is that I'm writing by hand now, by pen and paper, instead of, a computer, which I found quite distracting. And I'm churning out, all these pages a day, and that's, writing daily is the biggest bit of advice. Find, even if it's just an hour or 45 minutes a day to get something written. It doesn't have to be your best piece of work, just get words onto the page, and that's the main thing when you're writing just the first manuscript, when you're writing the first raw draft. It doesn't matter if it's your perfect work or not. All that matters is getting ideas onto the page. And I think, the more you get into the habit of encouraging your mind to do that, the easier it gets. Set yourself word counts or page counts and stick to them. Push yourself. It's going to be difficult at first, and sometimes the words just don't flow. But once you push past that, it gets easier. And I need to reiterate, you don't need to write your best work. Nonsense might come to your head, just stuff that you don't think is going to work or fit, and that's good. Put it down, and you can change it or edit it or polish it later, or might keep it. You never know. The stuff that I'm writing, some of it doesn't necessarily fit. Some of it's a bit jumpy from one scene to the next. But that's fine because I'm still getting all my ideas out. And that's my first bit of advice. Some people might want to keep a diary. I mean, I keep a diary. And that's another way to write daily. My second bit of advice, is to make sure that your environment is appropriate for writing. Obviously, for people that live with children and stuff, and that's a priority, I get that, and I don't have kids myself, but, I can imagine it being a noisy environment at times and not a very peaceful environment to do writing. But, if you're really taking this as a serious profession, you need to allot some time each day to do some writing, maybe when the kids are asleep or, whoever time at night, find that time to write, and it's important. And it's important that you don't just use your phone or just use a laptop either, because it's full of distractions. I mean, I'm not saying you can't use a laptop, but I'm saying I would strongly try using pen and paper. It's the change I've had is huge. The amount of word count, my word count has shot up. Like, I've been able to write nearly 20,000 words in 2 weeks. And that's the difference. Also, make sure that your environment, is getting ready. Getting ready to write. Get into a routine. I know what I do before I write. I get myself a coffee. I put certain albums on, that really emotional music. Like I put Aphex Twin on. The Richard D. James album's quite emotive for me to write to. I like Border Canada, other stuff, Feist, Cat Power. I like Duke Ellington, John Coltrane, all sorts of different music, different albums that mean something to me. I mean, everyone's different. You might just want to write in silence, with a light off and a torch, whatever works for you. But for me, I've got that habit. I get myself a coffee, get myself comfortable, do some writing exercises, and then get right to it. Writing exercises. It's difficult for some to jump straight back into writing without doing a little bit of warm-up. Writing your diary could be a warm-up exercise, or there's a writing exercise that I studied during my undergraduate degree, and that is, I can't remember the exact name of it, but what it involves is basically putting a word, in the middle of a piece of paper, and just anything that comes to mind from that word. I don't know, tree, branches, sunlight, yellow, golden, golden brown, the Stranglers, music, rap, 50 Cent, Eminem. You know, it's easy to just come out with words like that. We could try another one. Like put like another word in the middle of the A4 piece of paper and just lines from that word and anything that comes off that word. I don't know. Blonde hair, blondie, music, rock group, 70s, you know. And then that's ideas, and then you can use those ideas for the writing. I mean, sometimes it's got nothing to do with what I've been writing about. Like today I picked the word curtains. I just picked curtains, and you know, I got spider because there was a dead spider on the bottom of the curtains. And you know, it just went from there, and I was able to write a scene about a spider coming into my room during a nightmare in the scene. So I think tapping into your subconscious like that is very helpful because it makes you think about stuff and the connections between words that you never really thought about before. You know, spider comes to mind when I think of curtain now. Shadow, light, darkness, depression, gloom, cell, jail, abuse, swearing, blood. Yeah, all sorts. It's easy to do once you get into the habit of doing it. And that's one. Another one is to look at the Thesaurus. Pick a word, and any word you can think of. If you've got a physical Thesaurus, that's good. If not, use the website Thesaurus. Find any word that you're interested in, any word at random. Look at all the other words that are related to that word. And try and write a sentence or a couple of sentences or maybe even a little paragraph with one of those words. And that's another writing exercise that I came up with just the past couple of weeks. So there's all sorts of ways to warm up your brain before writing a session, like a full session of writing. But I think the bottom line is you got to love what you do. You know, I'm passionate about writing and I love what I do. I enjoy it, and if you don't really enjoy it, if it feels like you don't want to be doing it or you can't be bothered doing it or, you know, I can't wait for this to end. I mean, are you in the right profession? Do you really enjoy writing? Or do you just want it to be over and done with? I mean, yeah, it is hard work, but I still enjoy it. I enjoy it because it's my passion, it's what I love, it's my hobby. You know, I've got no more advice really for this introductory session, introductory video, except from, you know, writing it's hard. It's a hard craft and it's overlooked by most people. You know, it isn't just a case of a couple of weeks writing and that's it, book. You know, sometimes it takes months, years to do even a first draft, and then a lot of editing. You know, then it's proofreading, then you might have to edit it again. It could take years, centuries to write a book, one book. You know, so hats off to all the writers out there that's, you know, doing their thing grinding, you know, writing poetry collections, short stories, books, memoirs, whatever. It's difficult, and, you know, there's no reason why you can't be the next, you know, J.K. Rowling, Stephen King, you know, Ali Smith. There's no reason for that. It just takes dedication. You can't just write 1 week and then not write for 2 or 3 months. It don't work like that. You know, if you want to do something, you need to put in the hours. You know, you don't get anywhere in life without any effort. So you need to put in effort daily. Which goes back to my first point, write daily. Even if it's just 20 minutes. It all adds up. Get into the habit of writing daily, you know. And I'd be actually thrilled to see what you come up with. So if you've written anything that you think's, you know, really nice and can be shared, drop it in the comments or even DM me. You know, I like to read lots of different writing. But anyway, I'm off now. I'm going to watch a football match that's about to come on the TV. I hope you found this somewhat helpful, and I will be uploading another video soon. It's been Michelle Therese. Never give up. Thank you for listening, and goodbye for now.